I really think the whole program is extraordinary. You know, while there are others in the country, there aren't that many.
Not only do they have benefits for groups of visitors who can come to the museum and hopefully take away a really great experience, I think they also humanize the museum.
We're organically growing a program that is going to be sustainable for the future of not only this institution but the Tampa Bay community.
Anything that brings people to a museum to experience, you know, that kind of unplugged, you know, calming environment is a good thing.
The Connections program is a social engagement program offered to specific audiences, those suffering from Alzheimer's disease and dementia, as well as post-traumatic stress disorder and depression.
Connections really was started by Michael Tomor, the executive director of the Tampa Museum of Art, and myself.
I was excited to work with her because I think we both know something very similar about these pocket populations, which is they're tremendously underserved. And there is this assumption that they can't be out in public.
Patients come into the museum, a place that, you know, otherwise they may be too intimidated to go. You know, museums unfortunately continue to be kind of intimidating places to be. I mean, some of these folks don't feel comfortable going, you know, to Publix. So it really does create this safe environment by which they can experience the museum, which has direct effects, I think, on their mood and their ability to enjoy things and just being able to step outside their illness for a moment and focus on the painting in front of them. And it doesn't matter, you know, whether they can think about the past or if they're thinking about the future. It's just simply focusing on their experience in that moment in front of the work of art.
I saw a group of female veterans come and do this with our first group of student docents. And something that was remarkable to me was how quickly they opened up. The facilitators were so friendly, the USF students were so friendly, just engaging them in this very straightforward way of talking about art, that the participants clearly felt like they could say what they saw and offer interpretations of what was going on.
It was nice for folks that don't typically get out of the house to get out of the house and, you know, be a wife to their spouse who's normally, you know, their caretaker. And probably the same thing goes for the dementia patients. You know, when a marriage or a friendship or, you know, a sibling relationship evolves so that it's more caretaker-patient, things change quite a bit. And so this kind of takes them out of that environment and into one in which they, you know, maybe see sparks of that old relationship they had, and they can move forward from there.
We had a woman with her husband who is who has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, but he was also a veteran, and so fit two of our categories. But they came to a session and he didn't talk much during the session, but on the way home, apparently the conversation continued, and she shared this with me via email. So the two of them were able to extend what they had had here and continue it on their way home.
I can tell you that everyone who did the program asked immediately when they could do it again. So I think that the benefit was a good one.
Participants have been really excited about how this program is running. From clinicians and program specialists at the Alzheimer's Associations to the patients themselves, the Alzheimer's Association and other physicians have been really positive in thanking us for offering this service that is not available elsewhere in the community.
One thing I think we need in Tampa Bay is more awareness and compassion when it comes to mental health and mental illness. And the Connections program, as part of the museum, really brings some visibility to this issue and to the community which suffers. And the fact that the museum and, you know, their constituents have decided to support a program like this, I think is very valuable and will only help to move issues of mental health and mental illness forward in Tampa.
For the time being, goal is just to get this program regular, up and running, established, and a known community resource.
I think that it will get stronger, and I would like to grow this program as large as it can be, as long as we can manage it and sustain it, and that the quality of the program doesn't diminish as a result of doing too much too often. We should be able to grow this program significantly, and I'd like to do that for the community.